deal. Okay, Miss Barbara, will you pretty please check our hearts and then we'll get started?
Yes, I will. Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we come before you, thanking you, Lord, for all that you do and continue to do in our lives. Father, we invite your Holy Spirit to just have your way today as we come together with ideas and concepts. Father, we thank you, Lord, that you said in your word that you are the one who gives us the power to get wealth. Father, we thank you, Father, for all that you do. We give you praise, Father, in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Okay, guys, ladies and gentlemen, all the people in between, I'm going to minimize everything that I can. So, a couple of things. You guys already know the housekeeping things. Don't trade what you can't afford to lose. We already know that. Um, I'm still a pretty big advocate that it's way easier to make money on your money. And I know that everyone has this like big perception of making bajillions of dollars, but your money is way easier. So, the purpose of prop firms is to hone the skill, not necessarily just to get the 6 and 7 figures, which, yes, is my aspiration with something like Apex. But either way, please don't be dumping into what you cannot afford to lose. I mean, that's the basic part of investing. At the end of the day, I still think there is no field like trading. There's nothing, and this is coming from a girl who's done a lot of businesses. I have a lot of real estate. I've made 7 figures in a couple of other industries, and from a very young age. And that was again, I'm not going to date myself, but years ago, right? For self-made concept, which I never brag about or talk about, but done all that. Trading is hard psychologically and mentally and emotionally, but it is by far the easiest industry that you can possibly imagine. Like, where else can you go and invest a couple hundred, couple $1,000s and potentially make 50,000 or 100,000? That's what we're doing here. So keep the main thing the main thing. Quit trying to make, 10% on your money per day. And I promise you there's potential, but a lot of people are over risking and then they get their butts handed to them. So that's your disclaimer. Prop firms, everything. Please make sure you check out this link. For the most part, I am using Plexi. Hero is in here as well. They have a new 10X program. I've never tried it on to Trade Locker. It's very comparable to Trading View. It was worth looking into. Okay. I still don't comprehend the value of it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. The value of buying investing 500 and getting a 5,000 because it's 10X your account. But I don't know, because I guess it's giving you more leverage and margin just in a different way. It's a different dress, right? Either way, kind of cool. So, never had any problems withdrawing from them on their MT5 side. I have yet to withdraw on the trade locker side, but again, it's still the same broker. So worth taking a look at. And you guys already know the rest. Take Profit Trader is my go-to. Funding Ticks is very affordable, especially if you're looking to hone your skill. There's no activation fee, $1,000 a week. If you're really, really inexpensive account. So not a bad place to go and take Profit Trader for the bigger payouts. So you already know all of that stuff, but I'm going to minimize that. I have this up because I really want to go through this, especially as we start talking about automation, but I will clean that up as well. I'm not linked on TradeSyncer. I had what was it, maybe a week and a half ago or so, they switched contracts again. I literally just think it happens when there's a lot of volume and the market can't keep up. So it's very frustrating, but it's part of the industry. So I'm going to turn this off. I have not released this newest version yet. I will. I wanted to test a couple of things first. I'm going to go here. There we go. Turn this off. We've got about 7 minutes until opening bell. So, yeah, I'll talk about automation in a few minutes. This is the right chart. Have to make sure because my automation stuff usually isn't on this chart, but I have it up here just so we can kind of talk about it. So NQ is where we're sitting right now. I'm gonna go to the 1 hour time frame. It is Tuesday. Overall, I'm looking for a little bit of a sell to the downside personally. I have not marked up pre-market and stuff. I was working with the automation. You guys already know. Okay, for now, could we swing up? Yeah, we're really trying to tap into that yesterday's closing price and fill this gap. So I'm really excited to kind of see. I'm gonna remove this trend line. I try not to remove much without you guys being on here. But same thing, overnight we really were pretty flat. We didn't really go anywhere all night long. Yesterday we didn't go anywhere either, for the most part. We popped up, popped down. This is all of yesterday's price action. So not a lot to report. This is really slimming out. Could we spring up? Yes, because this last high did not take liquidity, like it just equal highs, right? So this did not do it, and this was overnight. So is this enough to maybe push us up real quick? Absolutely. Before we get any kind of a sell side, but I'm going to be mindful. So this is our overnight high, our pre-market high more accurately, that end our overnight high. And this is yesterday's high. For the most part, I've been trading NQ and a little bit of gold. I haven't been trading a lot else, although I have been testing on all the micro versions and everything for automation, which is really kind of cool. Very, very cool. But here's where we're sitting. So pretty flat, very small range, if you will. Overnight, we moved a total of 0.3%, and that's, all together. We moved it up, we moved it back down, and that's all we did. Yesterday was barely 0.67% on the entire day New York Open. So not a lot going on. We have another spring. We did come tap into yesterday's closing price, but didn't quite grab it. So if we zoom in, we didn't quite, I'm pretty sure. I mean, maybe by a tick we missed it. Yeah, by a tick or two, a couple of points, but still have not taken out this full size gap. It doesn't mean we have to either. So it looks like we might be trying to swing up at market open before we kind of crash down. We're going to go where the market goes. So this is what we're looking like on NQES. A little flatter, but same picture for the most part. There's our pre-market high and also overnight high because that's the highest we went overnight. The difference is ES did take out yesterday's high, right? And Q did not. We also have the iPhone releasing here in a couple of days, or like 17 hours more accurately. Here we go. Overnight, yesterday, we did take out yesterday's closing price on ES. We did not on NQ. So definitely some diverging going on. We're going to want to be mindful of that. And then yesterday's low. So some differences on this chart for sure. Overall, we had this nice impact, this huge move to the downside. We came and retested it. So even if we get this bring to the downside, I'd be looking for the continuation. Now, granted, if we break and close above this high, so we break and close above here first and foremost, I'm targeting this high, right? The liquidity above here. If we break and close above that, of course, I'm looking for that measurement to the upside. That's our all-time highs, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just fact check me. Yes, all-time highs. So kind of anybody's game here. NQ. NQ is pretty far away from, a little bit farther, I should say, not pretty far, but a little bit farther for sure. We've got 3 minutes until market open. Let's see. NQ looking potential head and shoulders E. A lot of measurements on here. Left shoulder head, right shoulder. Doesn't mean we can't make a smaller time frame spring, but definitely looking very formation-y and coming back in. This is more of that ascending channel on a huge time frame for ES. So we'll see. We don't have NFP. NFP was last week. So NFP kind of pushed the market all over. There you go. And we got 2 minutes. So now we hang out for a second. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. So I spent the last many days working on some automation things. I am stupid excited. I think I forgot to the bottom of 2 different things. This that we brought up, what I would tell you guys, what I was thinking about kind of in my, conversations with God, if you will, just yapping with my daddy in heaven. Here's the deal. I've accomplished stuff like this before, right? I did some of it prior to what did I just do there? Prior to teaching you guys this. The only difference is this time, well, that's not the one. I'm doing it with you. So I'm troubleshooting and figuring out all the figure outness things with you. And then after that, I'm gonna go and kind of put this to the test, right? Put this to all the things. It is very, very possible. It's just a matter of kind of getting us to where we need to be. That opened up all of the Excel. That's what it was. All the Excel got opened up. But I'm stupid excited about it. So we'll see. There we go. We're moving to the upside. Let's go down to the smaller time frame. We have non-farm payroll coming up. Let's see. No, I was like, that's last week, right? There we go. Gotcha. 2 minute indicators on. Yes. And here we go. Back on. Now we wait. We got a nice spring to the upside. I don't know why we're not loading. Let me see if I can't get this to load up a little bit. Sorry, all my connection stuff just went wild. Now we're good. We're on the 2 minute time frame. And now we wait. Right now we're still sitting above our moving average, so we like that. But now we want to be super mindful and patient. But about that right out the gate. Still sitting in the center, 2 minute range. ES is looking like it's a little bit more top heavy. YM still sitting very much so in the middle of that range. And of course, gold. Let's see. Gold might keep going up because of everything going on with all the war stuff in our government. So that's awesome. NQ. And there we go. Now we're getting the push. As we break through, so this is our JGS. We've already got our signal and our retest on JGS. You would already be up X amount of points, right? If we're breaking above this, we're simply targeting that pre-market high as a starting point. And of course, that's also kind of close to yesterday's high. So not a bad place to be. Of course, if we're breaking below, we've got pre-market lows and yesterday's close. That rhymes a little bit. That's a pretty close target. And then we've got, so pre-market low, yesterday's close, and then of course we've got yesterday's low. So these are the areas I'm going to be targeting as we get our direction decided. I'm going to be patient and let the market do what it's going to do. I think we have a bit of a buffer, 0.15 ATR on that buffer, and we wait. We wait, we wait. Is anybody else looking at anything? What are you guys trading this morning? Dun, dun, dun. Huh. Another doji. ES is breaking out. So we got this is our opening bell candle. We've got our spring to the downside, but we're still kind of very bearish. We have yet to kind of get a close outside of that range, but it's looking like it's trying to. So there's that. And Q is looking like it's trying to, but just no follow through. NYM opening bell directions are both side springs, and we're waiting. We are waiting. While we wait, I cannot wait to kind of go over this with you guys. The last two things, well, they're not last two. There's never going to be last two, sadly. We took a few steps forward. We had to take a few steps back. I had a test version 5 and we broke something. So the version you guys have is the one that I'm still using. We went back from 5 to 4 and built everything but one thing into 6. And that's kind of what coding looks like. You kind of take 3 steps forward and 1 step back, 3 steps forward and 1 step back. But a lot of potential here. I was running this all into the late hours last night. I think I haven't posted it yet on Discord. Um, Kind of exciting. One account, 50K account. Max drawdown does not exceed the 2,500, which is kind of the goal, right? And that's with a heftier amount of risk. You're talking 6 figures in a year on one account. ES pushing up. YM is up. ES is pushing down, and then NQ is pushing down. Okay, I see you. Still just inside this range. We're officially now 5 minutes. Um, But anyhow, I'm running it mostly overnight just to see. And at this point, I've got it on an Apex account. It's a larger account. I just want to see what it can do. So it's been net up most days. I think one days it was down. It wasn't down a lot, but at that time I was still just doing one contract. And I'm really excited to see what I can do. See what we can do as a community. So any feedback, if you've got it downloaded, you're part of the community, make sure you're part of that chat. Give us constructive feedback so we can kind of get any tweaks and tricks we need in there, built in there, working properly. But the market is pretty darn flat and going nowhere. ES has got some more upside volume. You've got JGS setting up and breakout setting up. So I like this one a lot. Not hot on the spreadsheet, but I think it's a great potential trade. But very indecisive market at this time. Gold still inside. No, not gold. Gold has broken up, but that's because all the war stuff. And NQ is trying again. It is trying again. And now we're trying. Good morning. NQ still in the 2 minute range. ES has edged above. We're getting a little bit of volume to the upside. We might be able to take this long here on ES all the way up. That's our pre-market high. I'd be using, if candle closes below this kind of midline-ish, we need the close below, not just the wick. So full size risk is still kind of down into here, but I'd be watching how candles close. Again, I'm a little bit more short bias, but we did take out some internal liquidity. We took out a little bit, not even. So we took out yesterday's closing price. We took out this low. I think the bigger amount of liquidity is to the downside. But we've got some potential here. Some potential, but we still have a lot of potential selling pressure. So 1.5 to 1. Let's keep an eye. I'm in on this only on one account. Again, I don't have TradeSync hooked up, and I'm building some stuff on NinjaTrader, so that's not an option either. But I'm in. I'm down not even a point-ish. Remove this up at least. There you go. But overall, I'm still very sell bias. So we're still kind of waiting. We're waiting for the bigger breakout of this. It's kind of trending down, making lower lows. And we wait. I could tighten this up a smidge, but I'm not going to. Down 1.5. I want to watch how the candles kind of close into this range. And NQ is trying to sell. YM is still middle. NQ is pushing down, but still inside the range. I might close this for about 3 points or so. I'm going to watch how this is where this is going. So it'll be 3, 4 points, which I can live with that. Nope, we tried on NQ. We tried again.
Yeah, it didn't give you anything this morning for the, I guess, the opening bell direction.
No, we got nothing. Nothing. If this was breaking down aggressively, I would be more inclined to just close this. So now I'm going to wait for how this candle closes down here to decide, do I want to close it? Do I want to mitigate that risk? It'll be about a $250 loss. So, ish 4 or 5 points.
But you also have the closing of the 15 minutes here, candle in about 4 minutes, well, 3 minutes
God, man,
ultimately. And then you have the 9 o'clock close as well. This will be the close of the 4 hour candle.
we're going nowhere fast, you guys. NQ is breaking down. All right, we said about 250 or so I was going to be closing, so I don't love how this is setting up. Granted, you could probably get out of this for closer to break even if you're a little bit more patient. So very, very likely easy to do, potentially easy to do. We tapped into that midway point, you guys. Well, not even, that's the yesterday's close. We tapped into that. Now we're trying yet again to push up. Nothing. So I'm going to close 175. If we close below, I'm still trying to be patient, but we'll see how she goes. Moving my stop loss up. Because here's the reality. If we get below this point anyways, we've already kind of confirmed that direction to the downside. I'm working on changing my mindset that I had previously in FX, which was like I gave a lot of things a lot of room to move, which is not a bad way to be for swing trading. It's not a bad way to be even for intraday trading, but for right now moves, if I'm wrong, I need to be out quickly, quicker than I have been, thus far. I could even give a little bit more all the way up into here, 507s. Just nowhere. Hmm. Now we're down at that 225 again, and I'm out. I am going to try the short on NQ, but you've got to know, first of all, we're down 1 on the day. We definitely need the follow through. So we've got 24 seconds left. The 15-minute candle is formed. I think if this move is to happen, it's going to likely happen very fast, but we have no control over that. So a lot of springs, we're making lower lows all the way through this little candle kind of formation. But I'm not in this yet. I'm just setting it up. Right now, I'm going to be patient. Got knocked out. I could have taken a slightly, a couple point smaller loss here. And now watch us push up. Bet. So still no. We're respecting that midpoint. 15-minute candle is formed as a doji, but it is a bullish doji. And the last two 15-minute candles were bullish as well. We're still just in watch mode because nothing's happening. I wouldn't mind trying to take this. If this next 15-minute candle is going to be bullish, it might pull bearish first, right? If the bigger direction, but we're pushing up. 2-minute time frame. This is a brand new 15-minute candle. We're breaking above. So we're above the moving average. We've made our impulse, our retest. We need this candle to close, preferably with full body, less wick, to be considering the longs, but we just don't have it. Still nothing, guys. I'm just sitting on my hands. I took a couple point loss. It's probably around 4.5-ish points down on ES. One account though, so that's not horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting since the sell-off last Friday. It's grinded up, but it's failed to really close over those new highs or make new highs. It tried yesterday and it's trying again today, but the momentum's even slowing down more. So
It really is, you guys. YM broke out. It's seeing what we saw last Friday. I was hoping we already know the drops have been rapid. We edge up for like a month, and then the drops have been just rapid. So I know that there's a lot on this screen. Let me go to hide all. Hide all. We climbed up this much and we dropped huge quick. We climbed up and then we dropped huge quick. We climbed up, dropped, and then here we are now. So we just got no direction yet this morning. We have 12 minutes left on this 4-hour candle, which is closing bearish. So let's talk larger candle time frame theories, right? If this next candle is going to push bearish at first, right? Because remember, 4 hours is a lot of time. If we're going to be big picture stuff going to be dropping, I would look for that impulse to the upside to kind of take some of this liquidity and then the sell toward the second part of that 4-hour candle. If we are to be going up, I would be looking to form the tail, right, of this 4-hour candle, which means to push down first and then to go up. It doesn't mean we have to, like down from here, not down from here. So this is the middle where the actual price is, the actual price of this. I'm not saying we even have to digest this entire wick, but to digest some of the wick and then push up. So that whole larger time frame candle theory, I think, is really helpful, especially when you're trying to catch this baby portion for a futures account. Otherwise, I was never thought about stuff like that. This is also retesting those small, higher time frame EMAs. Here we go. We got 11 minutes left on this 4-hour candle. Next 15-minute candle is starting bearish, which might be a good sign, maybe. We made our impulse and we're breaking down now. I'm not keeping a 15-minute one. That's 15-minute time frame, so I'm waiting still. I'll look for one more entry. If it gives it to it, as if it's great, and if not, that's fine. At least get below. So we wicked down below. That's this body close. We formed 2 springs. So if we can kind of close below where these last couple of candles closed, because think we haven't had a close below this point since market open. If we can close below the 827s, I'll look for that just short-term scalp. But right now we don't have it yet. We're trying. 5 seconds left on this candle. We're going to be closing like literally right there. At that. It's still not there yet. We're trying 62 points potentially on the table. I'm going to go ahead and short this. I've got some pretty tight settings that'll lock me in at 10 points. Please move. Thank you. Move that up. I'm going to take 2 positions. What is that target? 760, 755. That's not even on my screen. Okay, so I'm in. We're trying. One should knock me out pretty rapidly. And then we've got 655, so a little lower than this actually, but I'd be really happy to get that kind of. The one trail is kind of kicking in pretty quick. So it's trailing me up $500-600. So one's knocked me out. And now the next one's not going to start trailing for another 6 points or so. Kind of want to lock it just to be extra safe. But I'm not going to. I'm going to try to give this some room. $7.99. It's almost 20 points away. Even just to come tap into this area and at least tap the yesterday's closing price. I'm going to close out of that. Let this candle pull up. This is the beginning of the next 2-minute candle. That's 17 points. A minute left on this 2-minute candle, and now I wait. We're currently trading, what is that, 830s? 818s. If I can get the strong push or like the wick start forming, I'll take one more 5-point trail in position. It actually kind of starts trailing pretty quick. The 1 minute is looking like a wick. We still haven't taken any liquidity. Doesn't mean we have to. But that's that wick I wanted to see. So again, I'm gonna move this up. This next candle could, so that's 17 points just to coming down into here. That's 15. That's plenty enough points for me to get a little bit out of that and get out, right? But this next candle, we might come all the way up, fill this little bit of an area. Again, if we're breaking above here and here, no longer valid, get out. No need to give a whole bunch more back. I'm already out plus 14, 15 points, give or take. 822. That's 12, 13 points. So that's that second kind of trail at 7 or 8 points. So now I'm up almost 22 points or so, based on the math. And since I don't have a trail on this last position, I need to manually watch it. I would like to get all the way down into the 55s. But that might be a big ask. And I don't want it to tap this area and then knock us out. Come on, you know you want to get a little lower than that. I'm trying to be patient. 97s is the closing price, 98. We have yet to tap it. We're trying hard to. I don't want to give it much higher than this candle, so that's the 830 levels. And then that's it. If I have to give back these points, I'll still be up about 15-ish points. Well, net profitable, even with the ES. I'm really hoping we don't kind of close above that 830. No, oh, my bad. There we go. Still a minute left. Let me wait. If we're closing above kind of that 830s or so, I'm closing, I'm getting out. Otherwise, I like to give this some wick room just to kind of wick up. I'd love to see us at least take this level, better yet, all the way down into here. And we just might not during, our little trade sesh.
Yes, that's definitely how the ball rolls sometimes. Looking at the 15-minute JGS, it's looking like a little bit of consolidation hasn't yet really determined where it's going. So it is possible that it can just so move around and then go down, or it could do what you predicted, what you were looking at earlier with your analyzation, go up and then go down later in the session.
That, guys, we've got 2 minutes left on this 15-minute candle. So us leaving this much of a wick behind, not to say we can't come break these lows now, but we're looking like we're trying to pull the upside. So that 15-minute candle, it did. We got everybody trapped in who trades the 15-minute orb, which we know is a lot of people. Just trapped all of the sellers. And now to come push up and take out these areas. So we'll see.
Say we have U.S. quarterly news at the top of the hour. That's showing red on. I'm looking at Top Steps news feed for this. So I don't know if that may impact anything, but from the regular calendar, I didn't see anything major. And then obviously later in the week, we have big news. I think it's on Thursday.
What's our big news on Thursday?
Let me go back to it. It was one of the ones that was not tradable for take profit.
Gotcha.
What do they have on their calendar? On the 11th, we have CPI.
It's CPI. CPI, you guys. Okay. I've actually been liking the 5 minute quite a bit. Like I've been liking getting up off the 1 minute, getting up off the smaller time frames. And don't get me wrong, it takes more patience and probably micros, but or a bigger account with more equity. Honestly, the smaller time frames, there's just a lot. It looks like it's happening when there's really nothing happening. So 5 minute, there's nothing been happening pretty much all night. We popped above. We're still sitting literally in this range. We haven't really went anywhere. Back in profit. So that nice little 1 minute wick is awesome. But keep in mind, we're at the tail end of a 15-minute candle. So now we're closing. We've got 15 seconds left on this 15-minute candle. Next candle, this is closing full-bodied bearish. We like that. We got a lot of potential there. I'd like to see us come into here. I might take one more position based off of how this next situation kind of sets up. Nope. Nope. Coulda, shoulda, woulda got out real quick. Wait, tomorrow's PPI though?
I don't know what exactly is for tomorrow, but I'll check. That was a close of that news too that we were just talking about. Um, Let me refresh, see what came out here. And it's not loading. Okay, I'll come back to you with that when I have it.
No, you're okay. Thank you. We're just hanging out, guys. I like these strong wick to the upside. I'd like to add into this position again with a tight trail. Knowing this is going to very tightly trail me out. There we go. There's the rest of that move that we were looking for. We said just give it to me. Come on, give it to me. Ew. Wick straight down, right into there. I'm up almost $1,000 on this account on the day. Only traded live with you guys, and that's with the ES loss, and only trading one contract. The one time I took two, scaled out a second time. So this whole move, I very tightly managed a lot of positions going for that 5, 10, 20 points. Sadly, this one doesn't have any kind of a trail on it, so I'm not in love with like letting this be unmonitored. But overall, easy peasy, not difficult. This target all the way down here is 66. I'm also trying to work on actually hitting some of my targets would be really nice, which I really don't do in futures. Like I can know where the trade is going pretty reasonably accurately, but I'd have to be trading micros and or sit here for a very long time in order to get that trade. So even if I'm reasonably certain this is where we're going, I don't often hit this target on the future size in FX. It's actually, I probably should have been pulling up that trade locker account or my AMP account. I've just been building lately, so not doing that. We've hit 50% of the 15-minute range. And we've got some volume now below yesterday's closing price. So we've got a pivot point down at the 778, which is great. $794 to come tap into that pivot point. And now we're almost there. Pivot point coming up at 778. We missed it by a few ticks. And now we've still got this pre-market low. No, this is kind of yesterday's low. 760s, which I don't really need that level per se, but I'd like it. I'd like to tap it. I'm gonna close when I'm up about 1,100 bucks. It's really, I just needed to pop back to 500. Either way, I don't need a whole bunch. I'd like to come take out these levels because we haven't done that yet. That's too strong of a wick to the upside. 5-minute time frame. And this is it. This is all I do. This is how I've was able to kind of start getting payouts from several prop firms and just get a little bit tighter on my management. It's easy to take this trade if you're trading micros. That's fine. But if you're trading minis, I feel like you really need to be locking in that 5, 10 points or have some kind of management that has you do so. Otherwise, there's just so much that happens in this move. If you're trading too much size, not today. Today the ATR was a lot smaller, but on some days, and you won't know in advance. I'm going to close this here in a second because we're giving it back.
Yeah, you're definitely right. You have to sort of understand the style that you're doing, the size that you're using, and manage it appropriately. Because there's I guess, many ways to kill a cat. I guess, lack of a better term. But
100%. The problem is, guys, on some days, and you won't know in advance. There's no way to know in advance. You can have some, guesses, but effectively know in advance. You won't know if this candle is, 40 ticks, a 40 tick ATR or 60 tick ATR or 100 tick ATR. You won't know in advance what this does at market volume open, right? Like today, the volume's a little low, but if you take this trade and you happen to be right, that's great. But if you can't survive this one pullback because the ATR happens to be really large that day, you've outsized and you won't know in advance. So that was something I was really struggling with mentally and emotionally was, okay, cool, I'm right on the direction, but the middle management is just kicking my butt. I closed that too early. That's okay. So for me, my solution has been 5, 10 points. I've got three different trail settings on the my trade of 8 that helps me, it'll lock in pretty quick. If I'm going to take more than one contract, I'll have one that's getting me out, at, 5, 10 points, one that's getting me out about 15, 20 points ish. And that's perfect because then if this happens, I'm not trying to carry a lot of weight back into this because this one wick blows the account. All gone, at least in my experience. It can blow the account. Not every time, but it can. So we don't want that to happen. Definitely don't want that to happen. But that's it. I think big picture on the day, we're pretty flat. We've got more what is it, political nonsense looming. We've got PPI, CMI, CPI stuff this week. I am going to go live tomorrow and Thursday. But who on this Zoom, we kind of got a smaller Zoom today. I think the link is not updated yet on the super easy side. But who in here has actually been playing with automation? Because I'm gonna go get off of this for a second.
Been a little bit busy this week. My sister's getting married this weekend, so after that, I'll probably go ahead and um, see if I can get in so I can get you some feedback.
Congratulations and thank you. First off, congratulations to your sister. How'd she meet him? That's the real question. How'd she meet him, Jonathan?
Well, she lives in San Francisco, so it was a new age meeting. They did meet originally through online, but they've been dating for almost like 3 years now. Um, he's a real nice guy. Got one of those crazy like German last names like Winkelbach or something like that.
That the brother likes
His
him?
Yeah, yeah. I thought I was when the first time I met him. I've met a few boyfriends. Really didn't care for a lot of them, but this one was a little bit different from the first time I met him. Yeah, he held his own. He's able to be a chameleon in different environments, whether he's talking to my pops, soul man, or he's talking to me. And my sister has quite the personality, and he's able to stay calm in a lot of situations where some people may lose their temper. And he's always been a great support system. And they click together. She supports him, so I sort of wasn't even surprised by the time I figured out that they were going to get married. So very excited about it.
That's so awesome. I'm so happy for them. A lot of people meet online, you guys, and it works. I know it's possible. I know it's possible. I just ugh.
She's tried a lot of ways trying to date. She's moved from different places, from here in Texas to Arizona, to California eventually, where her job lies. She works for she's a recruiter for OpenAI, so that's what brought her over to. Well, she was at DoorDash as a recruiter, and then OpenAI now. So she's over there with Sam Altman. But yeah, they're there. They actually live in Oakland, not San Francisco. Thank God, San Francisco can be crazy and very expensive at times, but Oakland is has a lot of its issues as well. But
That's
uh,
wild.
yeah, they're gonna get married in San Diego, so it won't be there. It'll be San Diego where everybody will be meeting at.
Oh, you're gonna go, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course, of course. I'm gonna leave on the 10th. So yeah, that's sort of why it's been a little bit busy just gathering things together and all that.
All right, awesome. Well, congratulations to your sister.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, guys, I am going to spend a couple minutes talking about this, and hopefully the team and the developer can kind of cut this up and do all the things. But God, I'm not a salesperson at all. Like, okay, I'm gonna work on this. Listen, Linda, listen. I think one of the reasons this is so good is it's not including fees yet. So I know that is not the sales pitch, but if we failed at this by 50% and did this hands-free on one account, imagine having 3, 4, 5 accounts. Okay. This is not the best performer either, by the way. It's MNQ. This is not the only time frame. This is just a test, right? This is just overnight action. There are some other time frames. The New York afternoon performs actually better, but I wanted to take a non-New York open time, not the afternoon, which is where I will be targeting once I kind of get all the tweaks and stuff out. But holy cow. So two things. Could you imagine if I'm gonna go to gold here in a second. That's last night. Some of my tests were like 130,000. Notice the amount of trades, profitable. Real achieved, again, I would expect to see closer to like 60%. And I know other companies want to promote like, hey, this is 80, 90%. It could be, but you're probably not going to achieve that for one reason or another. If it's not the broker, it'll be the connection. If it's not the connection, it'll be the news. If it's not that, it'll be slippage. If it's not, it will be something. And I try to come with always the just a practical mindset. But to achieve this here means it's possible to get the 60%, which is what I really want anyways, right? Um, Profit factor amazing. I'm super excited. So the next two things, not last two things, I know, is we talked about this last Thursday on the call. So for automation, there's something this is doing. I would love some feedback. So if anybody watching this now, if you're watching this on replay, whatever, if you're watching this in the group, definitely tell me what you think. But currently, because the range is preset by a number, it's X amount of ticks, pips, points, whatever, right? This is preset by a number. This is using, so let's say this range is 20 points. It's using 20 points, whether it opened here, let's say the candle closed here, or whether it opened here. So that means you're not actually getting this as your stop loss. You're getting a 20-point stop loss, which in some ways is great because it's mitigating some risk. But in other ways, true to form strategy, it's weak. That's a weak thing. But results kind of trump my opinion, right? That, and of course, we need to incorporate the fees. There's one time block still not activating for some reason. Remember, you don't have to have all these turned on. That's going to be personal preference. You don't have to use these sessions. But I am super excited. Last thing I'm going to mention is this is currently set right now to really starting a trail pretty quickly. So the trail is starting very quickly. So it's meant to be very tight. If you're up, you want to be out because of the prop firm rules and stuff, right? If you're up, you don't want to be up 20 points and then give it back and take a 40-point loss with a 20-point stop loss, right? Because that's a 40-point difference, not a 20-point difference. Let's say the market is right here. I'm going to use a different color. Let's say the market is right here. This is your entry. Cool. Forget my handwriting. Market moves up just shy of your take profit, and then it comes down to hit your stop loss. This is ish 20 points. This is ish 20 points plus fees. That 40 points based off the size you're trading, that could, kill you. So this is really set to get you out pretty quickly. We have found that when you turn this up, the stats go down a lot. So that's a big thing. We are going to get this pre-built with the settings that I'm currently using at the overnight hours. And then again, once we're done with testing, I'll probably preset with some afternoon hours. But you guys can change all of this. So this is set on a bigger account through Apex. Obviously, I wouldn't be trading a $200 risk. If you're testing this, you have the option to come down here. I'm going to find it and make it to where if you turn this off, you'll only be taking whatever order size you have here. So you can take 1 micro, for example, just to kind of be starting to test, which is definitely not a bad idea. What else? I am very, very excited. So this is MNQ 5 minute. I am going to pop around a little bit and show you what I saw. Gold is by far the best. It just performs a little bit better. It's going to take a long time for this to update the way I want it to update. That's not right. Give it a second to do all the things. Open a strategy tester. Oh, that's because I'm still there. There we go. Update report. Bear with us a little bit. So 24. It's updating as well. I was like, that's not right. I know it's not right. Ask me how I know, because I spent all these hours working on this very, very excitingly. Incredibly excitingly. It's still going to be updating for a hot minute. That's not going to stop anytime soon. But I've at this point tried it on pretty much all the micros. I think it performs really well. Now, if you're going to try to drop this on any of the minis, your risk can't be $200 because it's just not going to work, especially on the 5 minute time frame. It's just not. Next thing I'm going to be testing is kind of trading midnight open on the 15-minute time frame, pre-market on the 15-minute time frame. So that means you would be looking for a multiple hour trade, allowing it to directionally, move, giving it plenty of room. But I am super excited. The prop firm farming thing that we talked about, that while this is still loading, that is still not it. Let's try again. Oh, I know why. It's because we put that at a 1. I was like, that's not right. There we go. This is now risking, instead of using one contract, this is now risking $250 per trade. There we go. I was like, that's not right. It's broken. But check this out. That's awesome. And actually, I can do better than that. I'm almost double that. It's like 150% of that. Seriously. So that's gold. Biggest difference, 250. I turned off the buffer and had this turned up a smidge. I'll put it there. It's gonna load in a minute. There we go. I'm breaking it. It's because I'm also live with you guys. But what did I do? Activate retest, trade on candle close, profit margin. Oh, zone buffer. Hit 1. Enable ATR. Got it. I can't show you right now. I can't, but I'm trying. All of it is preset. I took all the images. That's ish, not right. Working on it. Lit update. 138,000, obviously. So the biggest drawdown. So I wanted to see if this survive on a 50K account, right? So obviously I wouldn't be taking 250K risk, 250 risk on a 50K account, but still, that's 1 year, one account, et cetera, et cetera. So that's pretty awesome. I've tried it on a couple of things. Not to say we would trade the same way on every instrument, but kind of cool. This right here, that's life changing. If you fail at this by 50% and have 3 accounts, if you fail at this by 50% and have 3 accounts, this is why I had this up this morning. Because figure I never subscribed to that whole concept of like, hey, you're trying to get $100 a day or whatever. I never subscribed to that thought process because I thought the market doesn't always give you that. So take that with a grain of salt. But think about this. On average, if you have, let's just say this is amount per day based off 1, 3, or 5 accounts. If you on average this kind of accuracy times 3 or 5 accounts, that means after withdrawals, after fees, after errors, you're still withdrawing probably close to $250,000 a year, completely hands-free. Something that you're going to check once a week, once every 2 weeks, and that is it. You're going to upload connections. So I'm super, super excited about this. A couple of still tweaks to figure out. It does, as you noticed, if I turn off that ATR trail, it hurts the results. But I think that will improve once we kind of finish the stop loss update and the fee update, but we'll see. We're not just going off opinion here, we're going off of data, guys. So we have something to back up what we say, to say, you guys can do whatever. We built this completely customizable to where you guys have full control. You want to trade London Open, you want to trade New York Open, you can. 100% you can. You do you, boo-boo. This is oil. It's going to take a long time to load though. 100% up to you. But I want you to know that this decision costs you this. This decision costs you this. This decision offers this, but limits that, right? So I'm very, very excited. Anybody who's part of 6FTC has access to this right now. It is in beta testing right now. So please make sure you're using this on one account. After we get a couple more things done. I'm going to have one set of settings and timeframes on one account. I'm going to have another set of settings and instrument on another account and just start to diversify and watch this grow. The big account that I've been testing this on now for, I don't know, a couple of weeks is still standing. It is in profit, and that's including the one really exponentially amazing day, and then the one day where market moved a crazy amount, and then that trade was a little buggy. Every single thing included, the account still stands. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. Um, I'm working on it and I'm excited. But if you have not already done so, please make sure you're testing this. If you have access to this, great. Otherwise, that's about all I got. NQ is just holding back. We got the move, and that's all we got on the day. So there's nothing else. I want to see oil before we go to NQ.
I like the potential though with that tool to be able to definitely access different instruments that you may not normally trade as your primary sole one or two instrument, and have that mainly doing that. So that's definitely great for some of that potential exposure as well.
That is. Well, Jonathan, because you're talking at least and we're hanging out at this point, it's you and me. Here's the deal. I'm thinking having one account that just kind of targets 50, $100 a day, kind of once obviously it's passed, maybe $200, 150, and then using the trade of eight stops as well to stop trading. So stop all trades at that point. And of course, we have some built into here, but I would always recommend double dipping on that protection. So I'll have my trade of eight stop on there. The potential for that is huge because then overnight you've got your trades, you're done. You've got 150, $200 or something, and you just keep doing that. That prop farming thing, yes, the guys who promote those $1 million payouts, obviously they were taking more risk, but they couldn't afford to take that risk until you get past the buffer. Got to get past the buffer of the buffer, in my opinion, because there's the first buffer where you're allowed to withdraw, but then you're trying to keep that buffer. So you need to build on top of that too. So imagine after you built up the account, now you're locking it to, let's say, $300, $400 a day, taking a slightly bigger size, and you have three accounts that you're kind of making in between here and here. That's a lot on the day. Okay, that's after losses, you're looking at like a $500,000 a year and more because I'm going to be targeting a lot more than that. I'm hoping I can use 10 accounts on automation to prove you can get a seven-figure payout. That's what I'm doing. And then one for manual. I want a seven-figure payout for manual and a seven-figure payout for automation. And then I will feel fulfilled on my next adventure. But we're working on it. So
No, you're definitely right. Those, uh, I think a lot of people do take that for granted. I do the same at times where, those base hits, those small amounts, that's the whole point of the compounding, right? That, over time it accumulates and accumulates to a mass sum of potential, profits. But again, it's just saying that process. It's just following that process, day in day out, not being too greedy. The market some days is going to give you a little bit, some days it's not going to give you anything. You're going to take your losses, and then some days there's going to be major moves, and you may make a big percentage or even potentially double account in a day. But again, in retrospect, looking long term, just taking those base hits add up, and then especially getting the account to static because most of the people who have done those big flips, the very few that have done that, a lot of them had taken sort of a turtle approach at the beginning stages, just making sure they can get their account static, taking those few base hits, and then when the market presents opportunities, then they may put their size on and hold the trade a little bit longer. Usually, when you see that, it's usually more obvious than not. When the market is going to make its move.
I know, right? Because I saw one of the influencers, the big one, the biggest, the baddest, the best, posted some NFT trade, right? Now I know that they were using 300K accounts or whatever, but I was watching the short and I'm thinking, doing the math on the drawdown because the drawdown, if you have here, I'm gonna draw it. If you have five contracts here and you added five more here, this drawdown split between 14 accounts. Again, I did the math. Okay. This drawdown was close to about 13K per account. Okay. So to give you an idea, and obviously it was favorable. He bought here and added more here just before the wick came out and it popped back up. But this drawdown on the way down, and remember there was still a bit more of a wick here, was enough to be about 13K. So this I can't quantify. Um, but that's a lot per account. Adding this, you're probably looking somewhere between 15 and 18K per account. So once you have this kind of buffer, you can take bolder manual moves or you can take bolder whatever. But my problem is I get past the buffer, I'm like, cool, now I have more room, but I now need to consider I have a buffer and then I have a buffer on top of my buffer. And until I started seeing this, I was still really struggling. So now I want to see my buffer and then my buffer on top of my buffer. Okay. And that's where I can say now I can withdraw. That's now I can take on more risk because I was trying to take on more risk or withdraw here. And every time I've done that, I lost the account. Like I, for dumb reasons, I got switched to Pro Plus. For dumb reasons, I withdrew much and then like the withdrawal didn't process on that account. Like for all the dumbest reasons. So trying to withdraw or add risk here was not a healthy decision. Like I got past the first buffer and then I thought, hey, this is my withdrawal, my risk increase. Nope. I'm now personally, how I'm getting over that is I have my buffer, I add another buffer, and that has helped me a lot in my process here. Because again, guys, I don't have any prop firm experience. This is the first year I've really been playing with them.
So
Boy,
you're
oh,
looking to like ultimately like 200x your original from where you start.
yes. So that's it. And actually, that's what, when you said yesterday you're making 100% gains, that's it. So now I'm looking at a 200% gain on the actual risk I'm playing with. Let's say it's 3K or 2,500, depending on the broker you're using. So I need to get beyond that before I consider withdrawing or before I consider increasing risk. Because sure, you have the buffer, but if once you withdraw into that, you have no buffer. Once you add risk into that, you've spent the entire buffer. And that was messing me up a lot for all the different, I know different prop firms have different consistency in different ways, but that's what was breaking me is trying to make some big decision here, which was stupid. So I'm learning and I'm teaching you guys as I learn on this stuff. Trading I can do with my eyes closed, almost, sounds bad, but truthfully, that's the easy part. The trade is not hard for me. The proverbs though are hard. Some of that
Oh
stuff is not
yeah.
easy.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the other thing too with the farming that you mentioned. Like I said, there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat, but sometimes two people have to look at their personality. So if you have your personality, and then obviously where you are financially and what discretionary income you have to put at this. So obviously, if you know you have a little bit to play with, then you should sort of take the approach that Jenny's definitely recommended. One of the approaches she recommended with just taking your base hits, not really trying to prop firm, but just farm, but just to get small equity on the account here and there and let it build up gradually. Take your first few payouts and then stack accounts after that. But then if money's really not an issue, and you sort of know what you're doing, then you could do both approaches. You can have one where you're slowly building the accounts and getting equity in the account. And then you can have other accounts where you're a little bit more aggressive, try to beat the actual challenge in a day or two. And then if you still decide to do so on that account, maybe that can be the more aggressive account where you can use higher, lot sizes and whatnot, and then get your payouts and just look at where you are overall. Like if I have 10,000 to spend for the month, and I'm aggressive with it, I know I'm going to buy X amount of accounts, whether that amounts to 1,000, excuse me, 100 accounts or whatever. As long as I'm green at the end of the month or at the end of the quarter, however you look at it, then I'm good. So there's multiple approaches. You just have to know your personality and what you're willing to lose.
Oh, that and that budget thing is huge too, because a lot of people are trying to accomplish huge results on a shoestring budget and then they're let down. And that I think is the hard part. Like you have to know your skill level, how many accounts you're getting, the rules of those accounts. That's a big deal. But well, wait, on the psychology part and the whole, take your big swings, yes. I think another thing that I'm going to work on implementing, and I'm not going to fib to you guys, I'm not there right now, is if I don't feel like I can handle a loss today, I'm not going to trade. Okay. So I don't know that I love saying this on a live recording. I know there's only a couple of us hanging out, but I'm, super honest. So here we go. I don't know if I have the capacity to do that, especially given the position and, my quote job versus my investing kind of things. But there's times in our life where we have a lot of other stuff going on, right? So we look to trading for dopamine. We look to trading to feel like that we're making some progress, like we're doing something. That action gives us some validation, right? even myself, I've always been the person who kind of dives into work when real life stuff happens. So I also need to check myself to say, hey, look, if I don't feel like I can digest the loss and I'm going to accept the loss, today is the day I just don't trade. And I think that needs to be part of like my pre-market checkup list of, hey, if I don't feel like I can take the loss today, I'm going to go to, a practice account or to a demo account or something, or my swing trading account is fine, even if I, want to take a trade. But if I don't feel like I can digest the immediate loss, which I think has happened a lot in futures, whether it's something in life going on or just the validation that, look, I know what I'm doing, like all the parts that go into this that we never talk about, that's the day I'm going to say, no, no, hey, I don't want to trade because a lot of times oh, by the way, crude performs really good too, which I was kind of surprised about. But a lot of times, let's say we went to go buy, we got knocked out. We had another opportunity to buy, like if we had just digested this loss or something. But if we're not, and we tried to, whatever the scenario is, let's say we try to buy here, fine, let's take the loss that's, within our risk parameters. Let's take it and be done and walk away. If we can't do that, we end up blowing the account. We end up going on till all the dumb things that go into play. I need to be able to come to the chart and say, because I've never had a problem with that before, is can I handle this loss? I never had the what is tilt nonsense. I never had that until here, trading in futures side. So to me, I think that should be a good question that a lot of us maybe put on our checklist is, can you handle that if you take a trade today, you're going to accept the loss, regardless of, accept whether you win or lose. And if your answer is not yes, today's your demo day, today's your practice day, today's your study day. I just think that is a potentially good way to avoid the tilt, which I don't have a lot of tilt days, but I do have a lot of days where I took the trade and I was like, this was right. There should not have lost. So then I made some decision and ended up making a lot of decisions, went to break even, went to profit or a loss. I think it's a reasonable point to consider, guys. Reasonable point. That's all. All right. Well, this is what I wanted to show you on automation. It is working really well. No, it does not perform as well with that ATR off, at least not with the way it's currently built. We're going to clean up that stop loss a little bit, although I don't know if it's going to be better or worse. We're going to go by data, not opinion. And then we need to clean up the fees. So with those two things, we should have a very accurate picture. And again, from our very accurate picture, I'm still going to deduct 20% just for human, per peace of mind. So this is what we're working on. If you have questions, comments, or testing this, please make sure you put all that stuff in the chat. And otherwise, that's all I got. So do you guys, anybody have questions that you guys want to go over? If not, I'm gonna pop off. We are going live tomorrow, so we're gonna be doing 3 days a week, at least for the foreseeable future. I'm trading at this time anyways, so it doesn't have to be some formal thing. It's just I'm taking trades, come hang out. A lot of y'all are taking trades. I know YouTube is bombarded with all kinds of people, but pick your place, come and hang out. At least here you get to interact. So come interact. That's the value. So don't miss out on that. No Tuesday night calls. What else we got? Dragonfly still going low, high and strong. I know that Robert wanted me to definitely mention, don't use the aggressive settings on gold. They took a pretty, sizable hit for sure. Again, using those maybe time frames and doubling the risk on a high risk instrument, not a good idea. Otherwise, a lot of people are having a ton of success in terms of Dragonfly. Even there are several people who are using gold, and again, I'm not one of them, but they're using it on a larger time frame with a smaller risk amount. So that's going really well for them, which is I'm excited for them. But like anything else, you can't win every day. You're not always going to be up. You have to decide if you're the kind of person who can handle a loss. We're now hitting that target, you guys, on NQ. How rude. You have to decide, can you handle the good and the bad that comes with this? And that's business too. For everything I've succeeded and failed at, there you go. Right on the day, but when this pulled back up, I should have went and put that on other accounts, but I didn't. So anyways, you have to be able to decide, can you handle the good and the bad? Because it's awesome to withdraw and to make money and to accomplish great things, and it makes us feel warm and fuzzy, but you have to be able to handle the good and the bad. So not all days can be good. Trust me, ask me how I know. But we're still standing, and that's really all it comes down to, is that and that alone. So with that in mind, happy Tuesday. I'll be back on tomorrow morning. Let's play some music, look for some trades. If you guys would post your, TradeZella things in the chat. You're not trade, well, not just TradeZella, but you're done for the day. Okay. your executions. This is not for me. It's not even for the community, which is great too. It is good for the community, but you're done for the day. Your executions, okay? Your aha moments, okay? In the chat, because here's the deal, the whole purpose of a community is to have that oversight, that somebody there holding your hand. But we can't do that if you don't kind of come in there and do that as well. So there's a lot of potential in what we're building, but if we're off in our own offices and we're just chilling like a villain and we take some trades, we take some trades, we have no accountability, we take some trades, we say we're done, but we're not quite done, so we pretend like we're done and then we're not done. We just do that all day long. There's no one looking over us. So please maybe consider that. Go into the chat every day when you're done trading, when you've made your win, done for the day. And then we're gonna know. Again, other people can say, hey, Jonathan, you said you were done, dude. What are you doing here at 2 o'clock posting your next setup? Which you can still post it, but then by all means post it and be like, hey, I didn't take this because I was done on the day, right? I was done for the day. But Miss Breek, I see your hand raised. Come on out. I think. Unless I'm wrong.
Hi, sorry, my phone was asking me for permissions to open the mic, excuse me, the microphone. Miss Cordelia sent a question about the Dragonfly, so I figured I could just ask it on her behalf. She
Go ahead.
she was wondering if it can be used with other brokers than the ones that you recommended. So I figured it'd be a good for you just to address it with the class.
Technically, you can use it with any broker that has MT4, MT5, but you're responsible for knowing. Hi, Miss Cordelia, by the way, I'm sending you lots of love. It's your responsibility to know the leverage, how that broker works in terms of margin leverage, bonuses, micros, minis. There's just so many variables that I can't be responsible for knowing, and no one should. You need to, right? The ones in the link tree are probably those are just ones that I personally work with. I would definitely kind of lean toward Trade Smart. Right now, Hero also has MT5. Technically, it's less regulated, I guess you'd say. It's not this, none of these are super, super regulated in all fairness, but that's where I would personally go. But technically, something like Forex.com or some of the other Wanda or wherever else, you can, but you can't use potentially the same settings because Wanda, for example, has 50 to 1 leverage. So you'd be doing like a 0.01 for every 5, 10,000. Whereas everyone else is doing a 0.01 for every 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, right? You have to know those things that I just don't know. So take that with a grain of salt. But yes, you can technically make this work anywhere that MT4 and MT5 is provided, but it's your responsibility to demo test, to get an idea, to check it once a month, once every 2 weeks. And the people who are doing the best, that's all they're doing. They check it once a month, once every 2 weeks. They're not over risking. They're choosing peace over, higher gains. And I think that's a healthy recipe for long-term sustainability. But I did not see that. Robert Lloyd says he's trying. And then I see the good morning. Good morning, Williams. I'm sorry if I missed that question, guys.
No, she sent it in via email.
Oh, I was like, I don't see it. Okay, okay. Okay, awesome. Well, in that case, yeah, definitely check it out. It's definitely worthwhile. My account it's been a little slower the last few months, but again, I'm sitting in 5, 6, 7, 8% drawdown, and that's it. So I don't really care. I'll get an alert if I gotta react. I have a plan in place if I need to react, but it's just set up a little bit differently. So, yeah. Um, Breakout, is everybody sorted from the online stuff, like all the automation stuff now?
As far as the breakout indicator,
Yeah, yeah.
no, that's one I have to go through today with a fine-tooth comb. So I'll be doing that after class.
All right, awesome. Well, in that case, we're
Well, I'm
working.
sorry. He's fine, but I have to go through the workflow and figure out all the connection stuff on the back end.
All right, awesome. Well, in that case, thank you for all you do. Thank you, everyone. I hope you guys all have a beautiful Tuesday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, live bright and early. Let's make some money, which we can do literally every single day. And well, most days, not every day. Let's be more fair. And I'll be back. Bye, guys. I'll be back. I don't know.